Witness the colossal boxing showdown nobody expected, live on Netflix. International superstar Jake Paul, the sport's most watched fighter, takes on Britain's two-time unified heavyweight world champion and Olympic gold medalist, Anthony A.J. Joshua, in the most dangerous and defining matchup of their careers. This is Judgment Day. Watch Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, Friday, December 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on Netflix.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing the protection of an offensive guard on the football field, but getting an elementary school crossing guard. Sure, they're both guards, but you can only trust one to keep your quarterback safe when the game is on the line. So don't settle for just any insurance when there's State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tonight on the Eyrie, we take pride in the Ospreys making a habit of winning in France, wonder how we're going to cope without our captain next season, and look forward to what hopefully will be a classic at the brewery field. Stay tuned. Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Ospreys Eyrie. I'm joined by Grant and Jack, as always. How you doing, gents?
All good. I think my voice is mainly back now from the weekend.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to have passed on the mantle to the person suffering on a podcast to somebody else. So there we go. Fit and healthy.
Now, Grant, why might you be suffering on this podcast today?
I've had a little bit of a cold since I came back. I think I caught something off everyone on the plane. Nothing to do with going out on Wednesday and coming back on Sunday.
Sounds like a messy time.
People with no voices whatsoever on Sunday morning walking around town.
Oh, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Let's get into the news then. Obviously, two big pieces of news in that both Jack Morgan and Derry Lake have signed for Gloucester. It's fair to say there's been rumours happening. You could see it was coming. Derry more so than Jack as well. We're going to struggle without them next season, aren't we, Jack?
It's look, they're two, world-class players. Particularly Jack. It's not just a massive loss for the Ospreys; it's a massive loss for Welsh rugby. To have the captain go in, and a lot has been written about, how much of a loss it is and so on. And I think I think everyone knows that and can see that. I mean, I said in last week's pod, I think he could have done. I think he could have. I'm surprised Gloucester, but yeah, let's say that next season there's a chance that they'll be competing because they've got two, one absolutely world-class player, one player that is always in discussion as being one of the best hookers in the UK as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, it's a huge loss, but it's completely understandable as to why they've gone as well. They need security. It's a short career, particularly with Jack doing his shoulder. I would have thought that might have made things a bit more clear for him as well in terms of, what, I'm out now for 8-9 months. And yeah, it's a physical game. And who knows what's happening from here. So completely understandable, and not just a loss for the Ospreys, but a massive loss for Welsh rugby as well. Yeah. And the fans not getting to see the best players playing for the regions. So yeah.
I know the Ospreys are sort of blessed in the back row and we piled up with hookers, but yeah, we're losing two real top quality players. As you said, Jack, I don't think there's an Osprey supporter out there who doesn't understand why they're going with all just uncertainty right now. And in terms of going to Gloucester, Jack is a proper home bird, isn't he? So I'm not surprised he hasn't gone to Saracens or up to Sale or any further afield, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a car full of people travelling up a couple of days a week.
I get why I think he did mention somewhere. I saw it on Twitter, at least. So sources in the air, in the wind. But I think he just wanted to stay as close to home as possible.
Yeah, I
Which, you
get
know
that.
what? I think
Yeah.
he had the choice. I think he had a very similar offer from Saracens. And it's just like, I think we also had similar offers from us as a club, but then chose to move on for the security. That's also according to Twitter, so you know.
Well, yeah, we had a few chats, jumping on slightly, but we had a few chats, supporters did, with Lance Bradley, Rob Davis over the weekend, and quotes like, yeah, don't believe everything you read in Wales Online, don't believe everything you see on social media, popped up fairly regularly, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity to a side, what's more reliable? Some random person on Twitter or Wales Online?
Isn't it the same thing where someone tweets something and it turns into a story in Wales Online?
Is it is this like a would you rather question? Like,
Yeah.
you
Spot on.
know?
No and no.
Yeah. Ideally neither, like
There are some good journalists out there, and there are some reliable people on Twitter, isn't it? It's just in the sea of nonsense.
yeah. I mean, look, I would say that reporting on Welsh rugby's got to be difficult. You never know which way it's going to go as well, you know. So, yeah, but yeah,
To be fair to I do feel that if once you do report on something officially, it will change about 10 seconds after you click submit.
yeah.
It's just fun.
Or do we
Oh,
record it? As happened a few weeks back. Yeah.
naturally.
Oh yeah, we're keeping four regions. 12 hours later, nope.
Two, 4, 3. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think back to the main point of Jack and Derry leaving. Are we going to cope without them going forward next season? Because obviously that Derry's put a heap load of minutes, at least so far this season. I think it's played pretty much every game of that first block.
I think so. I can credit where credit's due to the people who put the squad together, like the back row stacked, for instance, and I'm sure we'll get onto it a bit, but Deevesy re-signing as well. So, that's brilliant and so on. And as well as plenty of good hookers in the squad. You've got, Sam Parry who's really experienced, who can bring on the others as well. So I think that in general, actually, like while we're losing like world-class players, there is players there that can, you know, pick up the mantle and kick on as well. So I don't want to be like overly negative about like the Osprey squad in general. But I think like the wider issue is more for me, like it's another two world-class operators leaving Welsh Rugby. And like, if this continues, like, what are we left with in a year's time? Because like this whole idea of, oh, we're gonna have like one development squad and two other, like, well, if every single team, all the Welsh internationals have gone elsewhere because they want security, which is understandable, are we just gonna have three regions or all development regions at that point until, do you see what I mean? So it's like, I think there's like more to be said about it in terms of like where does that leave things. But yeah, I think for the Ospreys and for the Osprey squad, I think that like while they're a loss, it's not like yeah, it's not terminal, if that makes any sense. Because I think that the
Yeah.
players that are there are good and they're decent players and they're going to kick on and do well. So
Yeah, they get limited game time, don't they, with us, as opposed to with Wales, where Wales are looking at creating this fantastic environment where they're going to encourage people to stay. And the first thing they've had is the two captains walk away. Great example to the rest of the players in terms of beginning to undermining a rather flaky plan in the first place. Access to players for in advance for camps, etc. They won't be getting those two. It's just yeah, the WRU, I think, need to open their eyes to this is the start of potentially a lot more people leaving. You talk about squad numbers changing in squads. Given the sort of contract lengths that people are getting, you would have thought there's going to be 15 people probably in every squad in Wales up for renewal every year, potentially more. Just in terms of people got a 2 or 3 year contract. You're going somewhere between a third and 50% of your squad being up for renewal every year, and this isn't the last. This is surely not the last of some big names heading across the border.
I mean, just got to look at the rumors around the Ospreys in terms of, Dan Edwards and Hardy and so on going. Like
Yeah,
you know, yeah, it's
yeah,
it's going to continue, isn't it?
yeah.
And I would say that clubs elsewhere across the bridge and in France know there's no negotiating position. So we'll offer what we want and we'll have what we can. Like, yeah, done. Like we're offering you this, and the Welsh Rugby Union are offering you what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's unfortunate that we're both going at the same time. I think the biggest thing we're going to miss is probably the leadership of them both. And that's sort of my main concern. Because at the end of the day, they're both sort of our go-to club captains. Jack is our club captain, and when he's not around, Derry normally takes over. I think it'll be interesting to see who's club captain next year.
yeah.
Yeah. Sam Parry and Jack Walsh have been co-captains and captains the last couple of weeks. Yeah, there's got to be leadership in that squad, isn't it? Sam Parry's got years of experience. There's other young players coming through. You would have thought will quite happily like take up the mantle if asked. So just kind of we'll
I wonder
wait.
if Moriarty would step up as well. And I think he seems when he's on the pitch, he seems to be one of the people who's also like leading things and seems to be very much involved. So I think there's enough experience in that squad to fill that void, so to speak, I would say. But yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't think Moriarty's captain anywhere else, to my knowledge. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's something to query about maybe closer to the time. Speaking of query, oh, let's go on to a little bit of good news. As an hour after Jack and Derry were both confirmed to be going to Gloucester, we got announcement that Morgan Morse has re-signed a deal, which is really nice as he was quite heavily linked with Cardiff to the point that all the Cardiff boys thought he was going to Cardiff. So
Fuck that. Sorry.
no, I get it. And after that, Harry Dees has confirmed he signed a new deal, but I think that's more inevitable. It's a great coup to steal those boys right after they've got their first caps of Wales, isn't it, boys?
Yeah, you talk about two players with a future. Oh God, yeah. One of them is the most enthusiastic guy I've ever met in my life. Okay, Deevesy, and you got Morgan Morse, who's that strong, the strong silent type. Okay, as we had when we were talking to Kuntuk's chair the other day, right? If you're talking about key signings for the Ospreys, you could probably add Dan Edwards into that little group, okay? And there's three guys, okay, who are massively important to us for the future. And to nail two of them down on the same day that we'd almost like giving the inevitable news was really, really positive. And you can't stress how important that is in terms of getting those two nailed down now.
So it's quite a hectic day for Ospreys socials. Disappointing at the lack of signing videos. I expected Lukey Dye to come up with another skit with DZ.
Too busy scoring tries.
Yeah. Given, yeah, I think the highlights reels were enough. And considering what's going on with Welsh rugby right now, if we put out two quality signing videos like we were doing last season, I think is probably in the wrong taste right now. But I think the highlight reels said enough, didn't they? Smash, smash, smash. Steal.
Bosh, bosh.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the slightly more fun bit then. We're back on the rumour mill. Boys, I need your favourite rumours of the week, please. Jack, do you want to lead us off?
Right. There's been I can't talk because I've been absent for a few weeks, I will say that. But back fully fit now. But there has been rumors in the WhatsApp group that one Gloucester-based podcaster is potentially much like Wales vice captain and Wales captain jumping ship to do a podcast on English rugby. That's the room for me. I don't know. He's not here to defend himself. The silence is deafening. So yeah, I think we shall see. That's the rumor going around. Maybe I started it. I don't know, but yeah, it's my rumor.
Next question is, how could we fill the void? I'm sure the squad depth is fine. Yeah, we won't miss him at all.
Nick's back, mate. Calling Nick off the bench.
Yeah, we got
I,
that.
I'd say we don't need to write another apology, but I'm more than favored. this, I mean, this is only backed up. I think what Josh put a rumor into our WhatsApp chat on Monday when we're discussing sort of everything that's going on, if Harvey's moving on or whatever. And he said, "Oh, no, I don't think he's going to Gloucester. I think they're getting Dan Robson." And then an hour later, they announced Dan Robson, which
He
was
got a
quite.
place to sit in, doesn't he, in Gloucester?
It's quite strong. It's almost like he live opposite the signing office or something.
Telling you, he's a journo for them.
Yeah.
If you could write some of that onto us, that'd be really helpful, Josh, before you go. We still have you for the rest of the season. I'd like to keep it that way. All right. Grant, what's your favourite room of the week?
Well, I'm sort of using Jack as a sort of a marker here. I might have started this rumor myself, okay, but with Welsh players moving to Gloucester, there's rumours that the team in the east is actually going to be the other side of the border. Might not be in Gwent. So many people who can squeeze into Gloucester.
Don't tell Jason Tubby. He'll get excited.
Hey, look, Gloucester win 3 games a year. It's more than one. So there we go.
I refuse to comment. Can we stop making? I don't want to apologise again.
Well, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And Nick had a little bit of grief, didn't he, in the rap podcast yesterday, where I think Hattie started on saying, because so many players out of contact's really unprofessional, the Ospreys. Dan poked him with a stick, saying, St. Helens is delayed, season tickets are delayed. It's not good. And he's like, hang on a minute, the WRU are responsible for a big chunk of all of those things going wrong in terms of the length of contracts and delaying St. Helens and everything else. So I think Nick was quite polite and very professional in terms of his response. But yeah, I would have been less if he poked with that stick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not a good look, but neither's, winning 1 game in a calendar year. So it's all a bit of shite, isn't it?
Oh, fair play to Dan. He did say, people throwing stones on social media. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
we're all in glass houses, and
I agree. It's all a bit.
Still, there's nothing wrong with poking people with a stick gently, is it?
No, a bit of a ribbon's always fun.
Isn't that the entire point of Welsh rugby?
It would be nice if it was all just banter. Yeah.
And I'll happily finish it off with my own favourite room of the week, and that's that on Twitter from an unnamed Scarlet supporter. It came out the rumour that Jack Morgan Derry Lake has left us because they had a falling out with the board. And what I've taken this to mean is that Lance Bradley personally told both Jack and Derry to fuck off. Which I don't think there's much credence in it, but it's very funny. I don't think it's true, but it's very funny.
But when you hear things like that, yeah, there's some unusual things being said, isn't it? With people supposedly in the know.
Yeah.
It's like that same person who was very much in the know got very annoyed at Jason Tubby as well. Which is just right.
No.
Let's move on. Let's move on into the other bit of good news this weekend. And that was the rugby away in France. We're making a habit of winning in the south. I think great result, isn't it? I mean, you were there, Grant. Good game. Enjoy it.
I had a wee overtime. I left early on Wednesday morning, came back Sunday night. So yeah, stayed in Toulouse. Had a fantastic few days in Toulouse. Just went up to Montauban for the day for the game. Fantastic, pretty little square, and a new stadium. It's all pretty new, okay, and setup's really good there. So ideals, 9,000 seater ground, great facilities, training pitch right next to it as well. Really good setup, and it was nice to see the Ospreys put in a real quality performance where well, I don't think we got out of, I'd say, third gear. We played some really good rugby. Montauban were big bunch of guys, slightly blunt in their attack. But I thought a real quality performance from the team. And to see, when you saw Tom Botha and Deavesy and
Somebody.
yeah, they're all on the bench together and they cheering the guys on. Dan Cassende out there. So yeah, I think the boys had a little bit. I know the boys had a little bit of a social post game as well. So it was good to see them all really bonding and really tight unit. Those guys as well, playing for each other.
I was going to say, it's an excellent performance on the field. Any standouts performance-wise? I'm assuming you can't remember too much from a game, Grant.
I watched the game back.
Hazy.
Well, yeah, I watched the first half in the stand with the Ospreys supporters. We were all almost in one block, and I decided to go and watch the second half, standing behind the post where we were going to run in a pile of tries in the second half. And we were running a few beautiful tries, but I was also standing there with complete access to a bar, which is about far as away from as the wall behind me, so I had a fantastic second half, as everyone then suffered for the rest of the day. But playing wise, I thought centres again looked really comfortable, really comfortable playing together. That partnership, I think, is outstanding at the moment. I talked to Phil Coxing after the game. I said, when we arrived, we thought we'd seen you with 13 all the time. You seem to be having a great time at 12. I said, yeah, I just get my hands on the ball more. I love it. And sure, he's a skillful boy, isn't he?
He's been. I argue if he technically counts as a signing for this season, given he played maybe 2 games last season, as signing off the season in Welsh Rugby, but I think that's just me baiting Scarlets fans again. Jack, what are your highlights from the game?
I enjoyed seeing Combia back on a rugby pitch and playing really well. The way he spun out of that tackle on the try that he set up, I thought he looked pretty sharp. I must admit I only watched the extended highlights package. So I don't have as much of I probably have as much information to give as Grant, to be fair, by the sounds of it, given his given what he's
But yeah, I'm trying to keep my
but
gob shut.
but yeah, but from what I saw watching that, like I thought that Combia looked really good. He was in a lot of the clips being busy. The centers looked brilliant as well. Um, and yeah, I would not have thought that if someone said to me, you know what, Boshoff and Cognisinger going to be really hard to get out of that team. Like even with Watkin and Keith to come back. I'm surprised to be saying that, but yeah, because Combia's like every time he plays, he looks fantastic, and then he disappears for a few months with injury or whatever, and then he comes back and looks great. And it would be lovely to see him get a really good run of games and see what his ceiling is. Because there's I think everyone knows there's a player, and then there's been a player in there for a long time. So it was nice to see it showing glimpses of that, that quality that he's got. So yeah.
So,
In the pack, sorry, as Zach and Jack, a couple of highlights for me in the pack. Gulam Evans, okay, he's very different to Jack and Deasy in terms of his size and his bulk and the way he plays the game. But I thought he had a good game. And Lewis Lloyd again in the front row is a pocket dino. He was absolutely everywhere. So yeah, if you highlight the front row that started, there were concerns. I don't think there was any concerns within our group when we were having discussions with talking to supporters. There were concerns about the starting front row. And I think they did a fantastic job.
Reece Henry was immense around the park, and the scrum held his own against what was quite a big pack, especially off a bench. That Montauban front row of a bench was really impactful. It felt like watching live at least. But it's really nice to see him have a proper proper game back while it's putting him in contention more and more to arguably be first choice for both for coming off the bench.
We need to get back to a bomb score type setup at the front rows to me. And Reece Henry is the new Thomas Francis.
Great to see. I do want to add one bit on Combe in that he looked really good defensively.
Yeah.
Like he had his opposite number on toast, like consistently smashing him as well.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he managed to pick him up once, put him
Oh,
back 10 metres.
tackle of the
Or
game, tackle of the weekend. Oh, wow.
just
Enjoy that.
gorgeous. And the fact he also set a screamer also helps. What I do want to talk about is why do we only scoring screamers? We had another two sort of screamers disallowed. One due to a dodgy push, one due to a flat-ish forward pass. I understand that we're playing exciting rugby under Mark Jones, but it's not supposed to be that consistently exciting.
The ball handling skills being shown by, 9, 10, 12, 13, and even the forwards. It's just it's fantastic. Like the angles people are picking, like out the back, like honestly, like the ball moves really, 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 really well. And like the skill level of these players, particularly like in terms of their passing game, just seems to have gone up under Mark Jones significantly. Yeah, like it really is impressive on times. Particularly with like yeah,
Yeah, we pass at the right times now. We not like there's no like 50-50 passes. We seem to know know when to press the button, know when not to press the button. There's a little bit of confidence and a little bit of really good coaching in terms of back play.
yeah.
I will give one more shout out to a player I think played really well. That's Max Nagy. Looked dangerous whenever he had the ball in his hand. Obviously had his should have set up a try for Jack Welsh in the first half, which would have been superb. But he looked really confident in that 15 jersey. Probably the best game I've seen him have for a while. But it's just building on and just building up on depth in our back three now, which is turning out to be quite stacked. Sort of out of nowhere.
Again, we said it for 3 weeks, and if you want a fullback who can cope with the defensive side of the game in terms of taking high balls and things like that, let alone the fact he seems to casually stroll upfield beating people. He's playing well. It's good to see him have an opportunity. He is a big guy as well. And
You know what his running style makes me think of? And like it's just a running style. This is not a direct comparison before everyone is like, what are you talking about? Gavin Henson is kind of glidey, doesn't look like he's
Yeah,
moving quickly, but all of a sudden he's
he's
gone
round two
through two or
people.
three people, like yeah.
with a gentle handoff when you're 6'4", it's a lot easier, quite effective, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. Going for the knee handoff. Right in the mush.
And the other highlight from the weekend, okay, was the travelling support. Fair play to everyone. Like I said, that we made a hell of a lot of noise. You could
As
do
loud
it.
as we'll see. As loud as we'll see.
Yeah, there's a group next to us with drums and God knows what and trumpets doing their damnedest, and us. And when I wandered down out of the way for the second half, yeah, they was coming from the far end of the ground from where I was, and yeah, we gave as good as we got. So well done, everyone. Sure, the
Great.
strep. I'm sure like Bristol Airport did well selling strepsils when everyone got home.
I was going to say. It sounds like the Ospreys really showed up in the community, and then the Ospreys really showed up on the day, which always really helps.
Yeah.
Shall we move on then to some of the other results throughout the community in the week?
Okay, give me a second. All right. Picking up the SRC results, we Ebervale 47, Bridgend 15, Newport 76, Aberarthur 10, Swansea 5, Llandovery 32. So the results going into the weekend from the SRC not great for the Ospreys region. Nothing in the Premiership. Championship West, Aberystwyth 19, Tartestyle 26, Ammanford 45, Poseidon 17, Bonamite 26, Newcastle Emlyn 3, Glenheath 45, Crummock 21, Gowerton 17, Tondine 19, and tight one at the end, Kenfig Hill 25, Trebarros 27. In League One West Central, a big win for Aberarthur and Green Stars, 64-7 against Maesteg, Quins. Nachtler 17, Ystlyfera 32, Skewen 29, Bilth Wells 33, and Ysgynlais 14, Fadra 20. League One West, Swansea Uplands 41, Vale and Vole 17. Always good to beat any team from Llanelli. League Two West Central, Bryn Aman 21, Bryn Cefn 16, Neath Athletic 45, Mumbles 20, Pencoed 16, Porthcawl 6, Saxgower 35, Birchgrove 10. And League Two West, Penclawdd 29, Lacha 31. So the two, so there's two, I think it's three of our teams in League Two West there, two of them playing local derby there. League Three West Central, Montauban 13, Sem Sisters 31, Tonmouth 7, Brincourt 14. League Four West Central, Bridgend Sports 21, Pontardawe 15, Gleis 21, Britton Ferry 20, Gleis 12, Britton Ferry 21, Penlan 5, Ken Crew 14. League 4 East Central, Ogmore Vale 17, Brackla 12, Old Istidians 23, Pontycynon 17. Good to see a lot of results after recent weather cancelling shed loads of games. Zach, do you want to pick up League 5 West Central with the pronunciation here, or do you want me to carry on?
I feel if I do that, I will be shot in the street on Saturday.
I'm from Neath and I'm going to butcher it anyway. Cwmtwrch 28, Cwmllynfell 5, and Taibach 13, Cwmdrach 17. And finally, League 6 East Central, Tondy Athletic 27, Bridgend Athletic Seconds 15, Kenfig Hill Athletic 29, and St Peter's Athletic 5. There endeth this week's results.
Plenty of big games there. Slightly disappointing about the SLC results for the Ospreys regions. Newport 26, Newport 76 after having 10.
Yeah, let's not talk about
that. Yeah, we are sprinkling a few players across that league, and we are disappointed. I know there's a couple of there's a few guys away from all the clubs with Wheels under 20s as well, isn't it?
Mind you, the 20s did win.
Yeah.
Against Scotland under 20s, 43-28. Unfortunately, the only Osprey starting, Lewis Edwards at fullback, went off injured in the 28th minute, which sucks. He's having a really good season for Swansea beforehand. It's at this point in the pod where, if you're enjoying what you're listening to or enjoying our mugs for some reason, but I ask if you give us a like on or rate us on your podcasting platform of choice. It would mean a lot to us. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the Rap channel or our partner program, the Global Game Line. It means a lot to all of us involved. Let's go on to the game on Saturday at home. Brewery Field, 5:30 kickoff. Munster coming down. Excited?
Yeah, always excited for home game. Excited to catch up with you lot as well.
Yeah.
Fun.
Going to be there, start of the festive season, a couple of Ospreys games, down for the Scarlets as well. It's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm hearing stories that Munster are bringing over a weekend side because they've got some Irish derbies over Christmas. But yeah, considering they've only lost one in the URC, what Munster's version of a weekend side is might not be the same as that was.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough game, isn't it? Talk of Munster's demise seems to have been very, very premature, and they seem to be playing some good rugby at the moment. I suspect it'll be physical. It's a Munster team; they've got that in their DNA, haven't they? It's just like up front, and then give to the backs and see what happens, and that'll be difficult. But I mean, it's a really good time to play them. Like just after Europe, they've all on their travels just before Christmas and all the derbies they have. Going to come over to Wales, which isn't ideal. So yeah, I fully expect a good competitive match. Yeah,
We're a weekend as well, I mean.
yeah,
The only time we've been outclassed was against Glasgow, and look how Glasgow performed on the weekend.
yeah.
Top team in Europe, and they're looking at that.
Yeah.
So I'm always positive when it comes to an Ospreys performance, and I'm even more positive after a performance on the weekend with a reasonably weakened side. So roll on Saturday.
Do you think they keep the centres again, or do you think they're going to make that up?
Owen looked a bit rusty It was Montauban. He looks like he was a bit out of it. I think he probably needs some game time in his legs. I don't know if this is a game to do it.
Or another game off the bench for him.
Yeah, give him 20,
Uh,
30 minutes off the bench. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, no, agreed.
you've got to rest them, and because Keith's been out for a good few weeks now, isn't he? So
Yeah.
those two have played a lot of rugby all season. So, and again, when you look at what's coming, do you give Owen a crack now with a view of understanding what he's capable of, considering the derbies we've got coming up?
I think the derbies are probably we're in a position where I think that I actually need to get like a reasonable amount of points out of these three games. Like it would be nice to see two bonus points and maybe pick up some points on a losing side. And like if you asked my kind of I would like to see two bonus point wins in the derbies and then maybe if needs be just picking up like a bonus point against Munster or maybe two, if possible. I think that would be, like 12 points out of three games, I think would be really, really good. I think it's kind of needed actually because it didn't have a great block of games before Europe, but it looks like given the performances in Europe that coming into some form, I think it's the best they've actually looked throughout the season so far. Because like out of South Africa, it's hard to read anything. It
Yeah.
was hard to take like they played well and threw the ball around and scored some really good tries and hung in there for a while against some really top outfits, but it's still really, really difficult to tell what that translates to. And then I think coming into that block games with the Dragons and Glasgow and so on, you're expecting maybe to see a bit more that didn't really see. So it'd be nice to see now after these like two wins in Europe and really good wins like that, like translate into these games coming through. And I think it's important just for our league position as well, and to see if we can challenge for that top eight going into the rest of the season, into January and into the Six Nations and so on. So yeah.
I'm maybe of the opposite way. I think we should target this Munster game a little bit. We know the derbies are going to be tight pretty much no matter what. But if Munster are sending out a weakened side, which I think they probably will, right after Europe, right before their derbies, I don't see them sending full
I think
strength to a Brewery Field.
I I think yeah, I think you target all of them though, because
Yeah.
and this is I don't mean to sound like disparaging, but I think the Ospreys are the best team out of the regions. I think there's a little bit of like a false position in terms of Cardiff at the moment because of the games they've played and all the games they've played at home. If you look at what they've coming up over the next few months, like I think that'll give you a better idea. Um, and I just think that they should go out there and target all three. There's no reason. If Munster send out a weakened team, they should be looking to win that. They should be looking to beat the Scarlets because
Never
look,
Scarlets.
they've picked up performances as Scarlets, don't get me wrong, and they've been around Europe, but like I'm not convinced. And it's the same with Cardiff. I think Cardiff look like a good team, but again, like they've if you look at the run of fixtures they've had, they've all been at home, they've all been against teams that don't necessarily finish in top half the table anyway, and their challenges to come. So I think that all three of them should go out there, and nothing would say, big middle finger to all of you saying we're going out of business, or we're not going out of business, but not going to exist in the next seasons. If you beat the two teams that have been very, very vocal about their survival and so on, like I think that the motivation's there. I think the bragging rights should be there, and I think that that team, the Ospreys team, is probably the best team out of all the regions, I would say, when it's firing on all cylinders. So go for them all, I say.
Yeah.
Come out very
Well,
bullish there, haven't I?
well, rewind to the Alan Clark years where he said publicly in interviews, "Yeah, well, we got to look at our squad, okay, and we've got to decide we target the games that we want to win." What? Don't you want to win all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to win them all. Don't you? And you look at Mark Jones, okay, he picked the side for last weekend. He made some changes. He's rotating, and in Mark, I trust right now in terms of their selection.
I mean, if
You've
you look
always
at no, sorry, carry
no,
on.
it's all right.
I'm on my soapbox.
Go
I
for
was
it, no
just
problem.
gonna say, like, this is like, if you look at the performances against the other like regions last year, like, yeah, like the Scarlets got us in the league that time, but we absolutely blew them away in Europe. Yeah, and I don't see why that can't happen again. Like, anyway, that's for next week. But but yeah, I don't, yeah. I genuinely believe this team is actually like in terms of like as a USC team, a decent team. And I think that what like the blocks just gone, I don't think we're really representative of what this team's capable of at all. And what we've seen in Europe is actually more kind of what I would expect from a team that's got such a good pack, good back line, you know, and so on. So yeah, I I expect big things over the Christmas period, to be honest. Because they need, I think they need them, and I think that like yeah, that should be the standard. That should be going for like at least 12 points.
Yeah.
I do think that a full 15 wouldn't be too far out the question.
Yeah.
15, 14 is probably what I'd expect based on how many players we have available now. We have Morgan Morris is naturally back, so back road troubles are getting bigger and bigger. But it means we have so much depth to bring off the bench now, which is probably was our Achilles heel at the start of the season, was especially against sort of Zebra, Dragons, and Glasgow's. We didn't really have the depth of the bench to come on properly see those games out and get as much as we could out of them. Now with a couple of boys coming back, a couple of boys bringing on some really big form, it's just helpful. What's I say? Do you boys?
We got 3 guys back just in the last game, didn't we? Conby starting, and they got Owen Watkin coming back as well, Morgan Morse, and you've got to blood them all at the same time because you need to get them all ready because we've got a big run of games coming.
I think. Shall we discuss selection this Munster game then?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think some of the boys will be straight back in, especially it might just be that we try and target them up front or give them the best game possible. Do we go full out, Tom, or give Garen Phillips a chance to redeem himself?
I'd be tempted to start with Gareth Thomas just because the way he finished the game when he came on, and I'd give Cam Jones an opportunity to sit on the bench because he's a massive unit of a guy. I saw him after the game. Oh my God, he's huge. Yeah. If you want to keep short up the scrum and make sure it carries on, okay, yeah, people shouldn't be able to move him.
Yeah.
Is Derry coming straight back in at Tucker?
I think so. I think he needs game time coming up to the derbies. Where I don't think he play the full game, but whether he starts or comes on, I'm not sure. But like, give him at least a half. I would say maybe not more, just to get him. He's 2 weeks off now.
Yeah.
So that would suggest to me that he's going to be playing most of the Christmas period.
I wouldn't be surprised if he skips one more game and then plays in the Welsh derbies because you look at the choices we got at hooker, and you can shuffle them around now. Sam Parry is back, and we know what we get out of him. Evan Daniels looked all right, isn't he? And Lewis Lloyd has been a revelation.
Yeah.
I think he'll come off the bench. I think he'll probably get 30 minutes just to get his legs not dead. I think it'll start with Sam Parry at least. Bit of experience leading the front, captain. I just think we need somewhere in that experience in that front row because all credit to Montauban, you can probably get away with it, but I don't like having a 10 as captain or a 15 as captain, especially against the physical side.
You want someone in the thick of it, don't you?
Yeah. Either way, Sam Parry starting Derry off the bench.
That sounds good.
Yeah, something like that, I would say.
You can't complain with that, could you?
No. Sam Parry for the pushover try.
Yeah.
Standard.
Two of them and then pulled off.
Yeah.
Right, Headman, Tommy Both for Reece Henry. Any complaints?
None.
No, not at all. 66 minutes for Rhys Hendry on the weekend as well. It's good to see.
Yeah.
Lovely to see. Hopefully he can stay fit for the rest of the season now. Maybe even get a Six Nations call up. Who knows? Locks, I think, is a big question. Obviously, we've got a depth and talent there now. Massey, Hugh Sutton, James Fender, Brian Smith, Rhys Davis. Picking two of them is a struggle.
I give Rhys Davis some more game time. He didn't play a lot during the autumn internationals.
Yeah. Oh, Owen Sutton's been fantastic though, isn't he?
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I could see Owen Sutton playing against Munster and then potentially looking at like over the Christmas period having like James Fender and Rhys Davison there maybe or something along those lines, you know?
I can see Hugh Sutton making it bench because he can cover
Yeah.
6 on second row.
So I'm quite keen to see Ryan Smith play a bit more.
Yeah,
He looks
I
good. He does look good. Yeah.
I think against a Munster team, his just experience and the fact he's been around
yeah.
for a while will help. And he also looks extremely physical.
He yeah. He doesn't fail the eye test, does he? That's the
No,
thing. You look at him, you think like, yep, he looks a player. Right? Yeah.
so do I go recent? Do we go? It's more leaving James Sender on the side, give him a break, and probably have
Yeah.
keep him
Yeah.
fit for start Reece Davis and Ryan Smith. Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
good. Back row, does Morgan Morse come in? Morgan Morris even.
Well, one person I would genuinely rest, okay, for his own body's sake, is Moriarty. He's played nearly every minute of every game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He's got to have a break at some point. As much as
yeah.
yeah, start him at 8, start him at 6, whatever. But when you look at the fact we got cover back there now, it's like, yeah, have a sit down this weekend.
Play him
But
against the Dragons and watch him get a fight. That's all I want to say.
oh,
Play him against any variations, he'll get into a fight. He literally hit the ref on the weekend.
it was only gentle, wasn't it?
Gentle from a Moriarty is like me punching someone.
Yeah. But yeah, the ref out there for sure.
Yeah, he didn't look happy, did he? I don't know if that was on the replays. He was like, I've just been hit in the face, and he looked very like, ugh.
That's not quite what he said, is it? It was a bit more fruity than that.
Yeah.
He's mic'd up as well.
Look, I've done my one swear word for the pod. I can't do another one.
It's unusual, though. Normally, you see the commentators apologising for the language coming out of the players, but not from the ref.
Yeah.
I think Deeves will start. He's had a couple of weeks off. I think he then, in terms of 6 and 8, Morse and Morris, I wouldn't start the pair of them, and I would put Ratty back into the team just to have that big presence and go for a big side against what will probably be a big Munster side.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know which 8 they'd pick. Again, Morgan Morris came back and looked good on the weekend when he came on.
I'd lean towards Morgan Morris just because I think Morse off the bench is better.
Yeah.
I think Morse just gives you that bit of impact and changes the game when he comes on. Especially if you can tire the Munster pack out, there's just a few more holes for Morse to get on soft shoulders off.
I agree with that. I don't think there's like so. Obviously, Morgan Morris is a real talent, but there's no rush. He's still young, and if you've got someone like Morgan Morris who can, come back in and do what he's done so well, then yeah, like bring Morse on half hour, give him a feel for it where the game's breaking up and so on, or start him. So it's actually a nice position to be in with a young player, like being able to like be like, okay, so we want you to experience starting, so we'll start you for like 40 minutes and then bring some, and so on. It's a good kind of way to actually develop him, which a lot of players don't actually have at the Welsh regions at the moment. So to have somebody who can actually guide him and you can kind of expose him to scenarios that you want to expose him to and so on is actually probably really, really good for his development. So I wouldn't like try to crowbar him in there because we know he's a talent. I think there's plenty of time for that. So I would say bring Morris in and then have Morse coming on the same way.
It's a big pack we've just picked, and it feels right to play against Munster. Halfbacks, Hardy, who starts at 9? Hardy or Ruben? I think it's a big question. I think they're both fit. They're both playing pretty well.
Don't mind. I generally don't mind.
So,
Kieran Hardy scores tries with the support lines. Ruben will just pick up the ball and score. I don't really mind which one plays and which one scores or starts. What the point? I think Luke Davis has had a good couple of weeks, but yeah, the other two are real international players, and they're really good. So whichever.
For me, it all depends on how they want to play, isn't it? If it's like a kicking game and so on, they're going to and defensively looking to shore up. I think Kieran Hardy is, which isn't spoken about enough. He gets a lot of Wales fans give him a lot of stick, right, because of the performances out in Japan and so on. But like in terms of defensive work, he's really, really solid defensively. He's a reasonably sized boy, like in terms of like his big shoulders on him, and he gets stuck in. So I think it all depends on what the game plan is as well. I'd say his kicking game's slightly better as well. Um, so yeah, for me, it doesn't matter who starts, the same as you, Grant. But I do think it is horses for courses and depends on. It's a lovely position to be in, that isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
So proper international quality nines available is always very nice. 10 has to be Dan Ed's, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nadji's been having a good run of 15, so you think would Walsh stay at 10, but Dan Ed's has got to have a bit of time with that back line, isn't he, before the derbies again? So yeah, Dan.
I think it's just sort of you want him playing as much rugby as possible, I'd say. Right now, I think Nagy makes sense as a bench option, at least covering sort of 13, centre, 15, but works. And I don't see any reason to drop Danny Eds at the moment. I think the only reason he didn't play in Montauban is because he had to be stepped down off playing for Wales.
Yeah.
Centres, I think we discussed this earlier, just going to keep him as is.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to start Watkin for this game just to see what he's capable of before the derbies. But I, if it's a matter of who do you want playing right now, I'd be weird. I stick with a foreign partner centre partnership.
I'm not against starting Watkin. Just at least here, I think if this feels like almost the least big of the games coming out.
Yeah.
And I think this will be the easiest one for him to come back in for. If you bring him back in for a derby, it's just pressure. That's not necessarily bad. There's slightly less pressure if he plays this weekend. And then I think Bosher for 13 is pretty much secure.
Yeah.
Unless we see sort of Phil at 12 and Monk at 13, which I'm not against either, to be fair.
Yeah, wouldn't be bad with it.
Yeah. Any two starting, one on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're playing countdown now, right? Two from that.
Two of three, and the third's still there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then back three, there's some choices now because everyone's fit.
I'd like to see Combia go out again. I really would. I would love to see. I just think he's been so good, like when he's played, and he's got talent there. I just want to see him get a run of games. Yeah, for me, I'd like to see Combia. I'd keep it the same, maybe, but Jack Walsh at 15.
You got Cassendi to come back in again. If you're looking at a physical game against Munster, then does Dan come back in? And then you're thinking Ryan versus Keelan. Oh God, okay, it's very hard to drop Keelan.
Yeah.
So I get horses for courses this one, isn't it? And what's Mark Jones thinking?
I'd be tempted to give Keelan a break. He's just come back from a layoff. I think it makes sense just to give him a little bit of time off.
Yeah.
Maybe just rest Cassende for another week. He's played a lot of rugby, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and stick with it. Go back to where you started, Jack. Yeah, just keep the same two against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Walsh at 15, I would say.
For me on the bench.
Yeah.
And Yeston Hopkins doesn't feature in that selection, and Yeston's played really well this season again. So it's a great position to be in. Like I said, they're all fit. They're all looking good.
A little bit spoiled for choice.
Wow.
This is what I was talking about. When everyone's fit, it's a good squad. There's no reason why they can't go out and win all the games coming up.
Yeah.
I think it's a good position to be in. We'll finish off the pod then. Score prediction, something funny. Go on.
Ospreys by 6. And in terms of funny predictions, yeah, I think you're going to turn up for your first game in Bridgend, okay? And it'll be your pint that's knocked over by a bouncing ball and not mine. I say that now.
If it ends up on you, I will not. I will be laughing with you.
Hey, if you catch a clean ball, okay, there's a chance you could have a signed ball from the Ospreys as well.
I look forward to it. Jack,
I go Ospreys by 7 by a try. For a try. And my something funny is going to be when the ball comes towards me with a full pint, I absolutely Peter Schmeichel it in the Grant's pint, all over him.
If we 7 points ahead with a minute to go, okay, I don't care.
I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna Ospreys by 8. But my funny thing is, Grant's gonna be caught chunder dragging in the streets of Bridgend later that evening.
No, I wasn't arrested this weekend. Okay, surely not next weekend. I would have been arrested for disturbing the peace on Saturday night, coming home on the train. I sung all the way home.
That would be disturbing and not particularly peaceful.
No, there's people trying to sleep on that train as well.
Silly men. Bloody French. I think that's all we've got time for this week, gents. Thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I'll happily see you all on Saturday. If you are at the game on Saturday and fancy giving us a load of stick for having bad opinions, we will be in the Riverside Bar. Come find us. Until then, thank you for listening. I'll chat to you boys next week and have a lovely time. Goodbye.
Cheers, bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.